And so when I see, and I don't know who else the chief is looking for or CPD is looking for, but when I see the mugshots, I only see people who look like me. So I don't see the slapper's mugshot. And so sadly, I have to agree with those who are politicizing this and racializing this. I have to agree. This is racial because it is unequal justice. God bless you.
We have a ton of updates from Cincinnati where the viral video of a group of future scientists and physicists were all involved in, well, behavior that apparently is just all too common these days. Several new arrests, as well as a huge shout out to Benny Johnson. Credit where credit is due. He has started a tidal wave of good vibes for the single mom here who committed the horrible act of just trying to help a man up after a large group of people on their way to church at 3 a.m. on Saturday morning decided that he may have said the word, and so therefore they get to do whatever they want to him. Well, I want to start with the good news, and again, congratulate Benny, his viewers, on they started a give, send, go for Holly, who was the woman in this case. The guy, as far as I know, is yet to be identified. He started a give, send, go. It says this is Holly's only official personal authorized fundraiser. 100% of all proceeds go to her for medical, legal, security, and loss of work expenses due to the attack. Holly is a single working class mother who was knocked unconscious by a mob of thugs in downtown Cincinnati. Holly now suffers from a severe concussion and hemorrhaging. Holly can no longer work due to the injuries and is currently having to live in an undisclosed secure location due to threats. She has mounting medical and legal bills. The medical bills are probably going to be insane. Again, the threats, if they're out there, if I were her, I would publish them. We live in a post-trust society, and generally when anyone says I'm getting threats, I would like to see them, but that's neither here nor there. Holly tells me, I never want any mother or daughter to have to endure this again. I will fight to ensure justice, so help me God. Every American should be able to walk the streets of their hometown safely. In Holly's case, no police were present and no ambulance ever arrived to help. She had to get to the hospital on her own. That's a new bit of detail that's not looking good for Cincinnati. Holly is now recovering from serious injuries and trauma. She's tough, but she shouldn't have to face this alone. Your donation will help Holly's medical bills, lost wages, and legal fees as she works to heal. Let's show Holly that she's not forgotten. And by the way, this is now raised nearly $500,000. $352,000 created by Benny Johnson. Huge shout out to Benny Johnson. I'm going to guess that $352,000 is probably enough money at this point. If Holly needs more than that, I'd like to see some medical bills and stuff like that, set a new goal, and then I will absolutely encourage people to donate. But I think nearly $500,000 is probably enough, although you never know, because medical bills could be crazy. One ER visit could cost you $100,000. So who knows? Now, what's wild is we have a pastor. Cincinnati pastor Damon Lynch fumes over how mugshots weren't taken of the white people who were attacked in the brutal Cincinnati, Ohio incident. Lynch pointed the finger at J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy for commenting on it. Cincinnati's offering the perfect blueprint on how to not handle a local crisis.
For those who want to politicize it, the J.D. Vances and the Vivek Ramaswamys and the Bernie Marinos and the...
I don't think it's I don't think it's really politics, but it is the result of politics. Many of these people who have been arrested, some of them just got on bond less than a week ago. Maybe we need to look at some reform.
Christopher Smithermans and many others who want to politicize it, they have not yet said something that I always hear when a black person, say, runs from the police and then is met with disproportionate force, sometimes ending their life. What we hear is, well, why did they run? Why didn't they just comply? We hear that every time. But
Why didn't these white people just run? Why didn't these white people just comply?
I've yet to hear anybody say, why didn't he just walk away? So let me back up so you understand.
That woman was just trying. What is this dude talking about? This woman was just trying to help up a man who got ruthlessly pummeled by a mob of thugs, and she got her skull caved in. What was she doing?
Understand this. Two combatants, one black, one white. A black man steps in, breaks it up.
No, he didn't.
The white guy re-engages, slaps, not the black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another black man. And nobody's asking, why didn't he just walk away? And so when I see...
No, the white guy for slapping them is wrong. What do you mean nobody? I'll say it right here, Pastor. That white guy was clearly very intoxicated and he should never have put his hand on anybody. Okay? Just like, and by the way, those two men who he slapped, if they want to press charges against him for assault, I would support that. You may not like that. That may make you recoil given what happened after the fact. But if he slaps that person and they want to go to the police and say, hey, this crazy white guy slapped me, I want to press charges, I support that 100%. You can't and should not be able to put your hands on somebody else, period. Okay? Now, what this pastor's conveniently forgetting right now is the half dozen other people that weren't involved at all.
And I don't know who else the chief is looking for or CPD is looking for, but when I see the mugshots, I only see people who look like me.
Well, tell your people to stop acting like this. And again, the woman, as far as we've seen in any kind of video, is completely blameless in this. The man was clearly either responding to or engaging in kind with at least two other people. So again, if the police want, I think the police should consider charging him if these two black men don't have any open warrants and they want to press charges. I would have no problem with that. You don't get to walk around slapping people or punching people or shoving people. We live in a society, as George Costanza says.
I don't see the person who re-engaged, slapped not the initial person, but slapped another black man. So I don't see the slapper's mugshot.
Slapper, no slappy.
And so sadly, I have to agree with those who are politicizing this and racializing this. I have to agree with the Smithermans, the Ramaswamis, the Marinos, Corey Bowman. This is racial because it is unequal justice.
Oh my God. Does anyone just put, like, remember that, what's that dork in Texas, his name, Dominique Williams? What does it take to be, I guess I'm ordained. I've done 2 marriages. Can I just call myself a pastor too? And then just use that to push my own political ideologies?
So until we see all the mugshots, this is still a racial issue.
Again, if those 2 black men who that white guy slapped want to press charges, I support that 100%. Now, if they re-engage and they were, going after him while he's on the ground, well, then maybe that's why they're not getting involved right now. They don't want to get arrested for their part of the crime. But, if he had slapped them, period, they should press charges. Too many people these days just turn the other cheek or turn to escalating the situation. They should just say, all right, dog, I'm going to, take a video of him, put it on the internet, just, arrest the guy. I don't think you go to jail for it, but maybe he'll think twice before he does that again. This idea that, like, from this black pastor is that everybody must excuse the drunk guy's behavior. I don't. I 100% don't. There is no part of me that excuses him slapping those people. None. Okay. Obviously, that does not justify everything that happened after the fact. That does not justify the other people joining in. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. Him slapping them is wrong, but he's not talking about what the 8 or 9 other people did.
So let me say again to those in Cincinnati, it's Friday night, and we know people like to go out on Friday night. Here's what I would ask. Because of what happened this past weekend, we don't want to see it happen again. Drink responsibly.
Don't drink.
take care of one another, and everybody get home safe. God bless you.
I mean, okay, drink responsibly, fine. But now, here is a lawsuit. Like, this just keeps, by the way, this is fourth person now arrested. I think we have six people now charged. So 3 of the 6 people have been arrested. The police are actively pursuing the other 3. With city leaders in attendance, Friday was the first major time. Mayor Aftab Purevali, that's a problem, by the way. Well, that's it for a different video. The act happened, involved about 100 people, 6 victims, 5 men, 1 woman, were subject to unimaginable bad behavior. Again, none of this is probably going to happen. None of this Democrat posturing happens without the video going viral and the outrage, and the people talking about it. By the way, the Cincinnati, that white female police chief, turns out she's being sued for being anti-white. 4 Cincinnati police officers are suing the city of Cincinnati and the police chief, claiming they were discriminated against for being white males. The federal lawsuit filed Monday and claims 4 officers were denied opportunities for preferred assignments and were not promoted because of their race and gender. The officers filing the lawsuit are Robert Wilson, Patrick Catton, Gerald Hodges, and Andrew Mitchell. The lawsuit claims that Police Chief Teresa Thetji gave preferential assignments more often to officers who are minorities or women. It also lists at least 9 examples of women or minorities who were lower on the promotions list but were promoted over the officers who filed the lawsuit. The lawsuit claims of CPD's minority lieutenants, 79% of them received preferred assignments. Of the female lieutenants, 89% of them were given preferred assignments. Of the white male lieutenants, just 44% were given preferential assignments. This should be a slam dunk lawsuit. Again, just another obese white liberal woman in charge of police in a town where the policing is not being allowed to do what it needs to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.